For the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network, I'm Kaitlyn Wolters. I recently had the opportunity to speak with Stephanie Jacques, Public Affairs Specialist at the National Bio and Agro-Defense Facility in Manhattan, Kansas, about what NBAF does and what operations there are currently looking like.
NBAF, or we call it NBAF, stands for the National Bio and Agro-Defense Facility. And our mission is to protect the United States against transboundary, emerging, and zoonotic animal diseases. So these diseases threaten our food supply, agricultural economy, and public health.
And the facility opened in June of 2023, and I saw that the facility has to start with lower biosecurity levels and then work up slowly. What is the process like for working up to that maximum biocontainment?
Yeah, so we're phasing in science activities. NBAF scientists are beginning with that low-risk, common science practices that don't involve infectious pathogens. So currently, science activities at NBAF are at a biosafety level 1 and biosafety level 2. So this includes clean, non-infectious materials and moderate risk microbes. It's very similar to work that you would see at a university or a college or diagnostic laboratories across the country. But as NBAF employees achieve safety and science goals, activities will progress to those higher biosafety levels, a level 3 and a 4. So USDA staff are continuing to outline and refine those specifics of the science stand-up and transition from NBAF's predecessor, the Plum Island Animal Disease Center in New York. So as NBAF proceeds through these science stand-up phases, the facility and its procedures are required actually by law to undergo inspections and reviews by federal regulatory agencies.
Can you talk a little bit about moving through the facility and what those biosecurity practices look like throughout the day?
So all high containment labs have 3 key components to managing biorisk. The first one is biocontainment, and this includes a redundant facility controls and the facility design. So at NBAF, this includes facility systems like an influent decontamination tanks, thermal tissue autoclaves, air pressure resistant tornado doors, HEPA filters, that kind of thing. They also have biosafety. So this is going to include more of the personal protective equipment that our scientists and other lab personnel will wear inside a laboratory. It also includes processes and training. So as science progresses, one of the most notable processes is that everyone exiting certain spaces, and especially containment, will have to take a timed shower. So some workers will take multiple showers a day, depending on their normal responsibilities once we're fully operational. And then the third part of that biorisk management is the biosecurity. So this includes physical facility security, background checks, clearances, security personnel, and they have their own set of processes and procedures.
And then you mentioned Plum Island. Why was Manhattan, Kansas chosen as the new location for this facility?
So the area around Manhattan has decades of agricultural research and animal health experience. There's many collaborative opportunities with organizations that have similar interests in protecting our livestock. For example, it's on the western edge of the animal health corridor. This is the largest concentration of animal health companies in the world and home to a major land-grant university and vet school here in Manhattan, Kansas. But I believe one of the things that made Manhattan, Kansas really stand out was the strong community support for the facility being here.
I know that hearing about some of the things this facility was built to research can be a little bit intimidating. How would you calm the fears of any producers that may have concerns?
I'm so glad you asked this question. I think we can all agree that those are powerful emotions, right? If you think about it, many times it's the unknowns in this world that contribute to those emotions. So that's why NBAF has its own communications team. While we must balance the facility's security with our communications efforts, we've worked really hard to help the public understand NBAF's mission, the safety and security of the facility, and the benefits of the work that can only be done here in a building that has all the safety and security features that can handle some of those pathogens of high consequence, right? So nothing communicates all of this better than the old adage of seeing it is believing it. NBAF has hosted more than 800 stakeholders through our facility for facility tours. So this includes local and ag media, as well as producers, agricultural commodity groups, veterinarians, legislators, industry professionals. They've had the opportunity to speak with our science and operations experts, and many of those people who have toured the facility have a direct hand in agricultural production, and we want them to understand the benefits of being proactive through NBAF to protect our agricultural industry. In addition, what I was kind of excited to tell you about is that we had our Family Day, August 17th and 18th. Obviously, our families are a very important stakeholder to supporting the employees here, but they also help us bridge that audience to external people in the community. So we invited families to come on campus and to learn a little bit more about the mission, see how their loved ones are doing, and see the success and the hard work that they're doing to support this country. So it was kind of fun.
No, that's fantastic. And I really do appreciate you taking the time to speak with myself and our listeners about just what you guys are doing there. I think it's really interesting. What would you say is the most exciting thing that you're working on right now?
So while we do have some biosafety level 1 and 2 work happening in this facility, and I personally love talking about science, so I'm getting a chance to kind of start communicating that a little bit more. But I really think that it's NBAF's work to become a high reliability organization that is the most exciting. So HROs, as we call them, have a strong safety culture, and it's an emphasis on planning to prevent system failures, despite working in like a high-risk environment like a biosafety level 4 facility. Some of the other examples of an HRO include like an aircraft carrier, nuclear power plants, and even some hospitals have been incorporating some HRO practices. And it's really an ideal culture to work in because we encourage every NBAF employee to take a leadership role in looking for areas where there could be failure, discuss those concerns, and then work together to mitigate them. In fact, we just published our plan for how we are building this and sustaining that culture of safety that we hope that other biocontainment laboratories can take and use to incorporate these same practices in their facilities. So that's on our website, and it's pretty fun to see that come to fruition.
That was Stephanie Jacques, Public Affairs Specialist at the National Bio and Agro-Defense Facility in Manhattan, Kansas.